It's time to predict the scores of game week 24 of this 2023-2024 Premier League season. If you want to know how you got on last week, then stay tuned to the end of this video where I'll be announcing the top scorer for game week 23 and the overall leaders as well, if you're playing along over at the Superbru website. So without further ado, let's crack on and get into it with the first game between Manchester City and Everton.
So yeah, this is on at 12:30 on TNT. Now Man City, as we said the last couple of weeks, they're on their second half of the season form, aren't they? Just rocketing up the league, 5 wins on the bounce and scoring loads of goals as well. Everton dropping into the relegation zone, of course. I mean, Luton have been very decent, but no wins in 6 for them, a lot of draws. So yeah, Man City again. However, I think Everton will score, so let's go 3-1.
3-1? No. 3-1? Nah. I think Man City will keep a clean sheet in this one. Everton now on a bit of a dismal run. It's been 3 draws and 3 defeats on the trot, whereas Man City 5 wins on the bounce. They've got their key players like De Bruyne back on the pitch. Foden scoring a hat-trick in that last fixture against Brentford away from home. They look fantastic at the moment, so a 3-0 home win for me. Next up, we got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've got Fulham coming up against Bournemouth. Very tricky one to predict, this one. Bournemouth currently in 12th position. Okay, they haven't won in 4 matches in the league. 2 1-1 draws on the bounce, home against Nottingham Forest and away against West Ham, which is probably to be expected, and probably going to see a similar sort of scoreline in this fixture away at Craven Cottage. Fulham themselves, it's been 2 draws for them as well against Burnley and Everton in recent game weeks. So I'm going to have to go for another draw in this one, and I will go for both teams to score 1-1.
Yeah, both teams also winless this calendar year as well. So I don't know why. I'm going to edge it a little bit to Fulham just with the way they've been playing the last couple of games. So 1-0. Next up, we've got top of the table, Liverpool obviously losing last time around 3-1 to Arsenal, and then a struggling Burnley side who are just about grinding out draws at the moment. They don't look great at all. At Anfield, it's going to be all Liverpool, isn't it? 4-0.
Yeah, I expect a bit of a reaction from Liverpool. It was all built up with this clock leaving at the end of the season. However, they didn't look the best against Arsenal. Even with their goal, they had to be sort of helped out with a bit of a scramble with Gabriel putting it in his own net in the end. So back at Anfield, 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon standard. I think they will actually concede because Konate is actually banned for this match after his sending off against Arsenal. So yeah, 3-1 victory to the Reds for me in this one. And we move on to Kenilworth Road, where Luton entertain, there's got to be saying entertain, Sheffield United, because they've been scoring for fun recently. A 4-4 draw against Newcastle. Really, they should have won that one. I think they were 2-0 up at one stage and 4-2 up as well, and they succumbed to late pressure in the end, didn't they, against the Magpies. But prior to that, it was a 4-0 thumping of Brighton. So the likes of, Elijah Adebayor in front of goal, and Ross Barkley, since he's come back to the Premier League, has been a revelation. Sheffield United struggling big time, only won twice this season. A 5-0 thumping at home against Aston Villa in the last match. So they'll be looking to turn things around a bit. I think they will slightly. They'll be considering this a big 6-pointer, you could say, in the grand scheme of things. It's probably one that they'll be targeting 3 points if they can. It's going to be difficult for them because Luton are full of confidence at the moment. Rob Edwards has got them playing really well. I'm going to go for a home win in this match. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Hatters.
Yeah, for me, I could go even more, especially with the way Sheffield United have been playing, but let's keep it modest. I mean, who would have thought 8 goals in 2 games at the start of the season for Luton? That's all I'll say. So, yeah, 2-0 Luton. And we're moving on, Spurs against Brighton. Now, Spurs solidifying themselves a little bit in that Europa League slot as well, which could very well be a Champions League place as well. But lots of draws, lots of goals there for Spurs. They're actually doing quite all right at the moment. And then Brighton, you just don't know which team's going to turn up. The 4-1 against Crystal Palace, my Palace looked terrible. Or the 4-0 that lost against Luton. So Where do I go with it? Let's just edge it to Spurs 2-1. I think it is going to be tight.
2-1. I don't think it's going to be as tight as that. Okay, Brighton had a fantastic win, didn't they, at home against Crystal Palace 4-1 in that, what was it, M21 derby or something? Or M23, I don't even know them now, even if it is a derby, but they did get that a very good win. They've been doing really good at home, but away from home, I don't think they've won away from something like November or something like that. If I'm wrong, there's a caption up on the screen. Spurs a little bit erratic with their form, but Richarlison is going through a rich vein of form at the moment, taking up the mantle of scoring goals with Son away in the Asia Cup. So Spurs at home, creating lots of chances, but they do, they're not really too solid at the back either, so I can see them conceding against Brighton, but overall I can see the Spurs winning this one 3-1. We then move on to the next fixture where Wolves are taking on Brentford. Now Brentford, okay, Ivan Toney's been back, he is getting amongst the goals, but it is still 5 defeats in their last 6 matches, a reverse as to be expected against Man City in their last fixture, although they did win both their fixtures against the Citizens last season. Wolves defy my odds anyway, because I thought they'd struggle, like you may or may not already know. An absolutely phenomenal 4-2 away victory against Chelsea, and I think they were 1-0 down in that match, if I can remember now from last weekend. In this one, I think they'll take all 3 points again. Brentford, they'll be going for it, because they're looking over their shoulder slightly, aren't they, at the relegation zone, so they'll need to pick up points, but I don't think they will against this Wolves side. Cunha last week getting a hat-trick as well, so
good.
He's full of confidence. 2-1 to Wolves for me.
Yeah, let's go for the 1-0 Gary O'Neill masterclass in this one. I'm just not impressed by Brentford at all at the moment, so yeah, 1-0. Anyway, moving on to the 5:30 one, Nottingham Forest against Newcastle. Who on earth do you go with at the moment? Newcastle coming into form with it a little bit, beating Villa and then getting that 4-4 against Luton. But since everyone knows their form since then as well. And then obviously Nottingham Forest, just that massive load of inconsistency there, and then got that draw obviously against Bournemouth last time around. I don't know where to go with this one, 1-1.
Yeah, inconsistency is the name of the game for Nottingham Forest. Newcastle, they've got a lot of injury problems. I think Isaac's out for a little while with a pelvic injury or something to do with his groin. Anthony Gordon's got a bit of a twisted ankle, so whether he'll be back for this one. I'm not sure if Wilson's out injured as well. So this is going to be really tight. They came back really well against Luton last weekend. It's going to be tight, but I am just going to edge it to Newcastle, and I can see them winning a tight contest 2-1. That was a 5:30 kickoff, by the way. Now we move on to the Sunday fixtures, where we got West Ham coming up against Arsenal. West Ham at the moment cannot buy a win. They are currently in 7th position, but winless in 4. They have drawn 3 of those matches. A defeat away against Manchester United, where I thought they put up a little bit more of a fight in that one. And Arsenal, after a bit of a stutter, is 3 wins on the bounce. A phenomenal win, you've got to say, against Liverpool last weekend. And prior to that, it was decent games that you expect them to win. Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. And in this one, I fully expect them to go to the London Stadium and take all 3 points back home with them, even though this finished in Desmond's last season 2-2. So I am going to go for a clean sheet for Arsenal as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win to the Gunners.
Yeah, I'm not going to go for a clean sheet, but I just think West Ham are going to stutter a little bit at the moment until they get their confidence back. I think that Man United game, especially where they did play all right with a 3-0, that'll knock them back a bit. So let's go for 2-1 in it. But I think this is the time that Arsenal, like Man City, are going to force their way up the league. Anyway, other 4:30 fixture is Aston Villa against Man United. Villa, that very good bounce back 5-0 victory against Sheffield United. Very good, especially after a stutter of form as well, which they need to get back to it with. And then Man United, 7 goals in 2 games. 4 against Wolves, just about winning, where it wasn't the greatest of performances. But that's the thing, they're scoring goals but not putting out decent performances though. Let's go for Villa at home in this one, 2-1.
Yeah, Villa have had a fantastic home record this season. Okay, they did lose that match 3-1 against Newcastle recently. Manchester United, you've got to say, are in decent form themselves, and Rashford getting amongst the goals after his newspaper headlines and everything, so he's ramming that down people's throats, which is good to see. This one, both teams are in fairly decent-ish form. Both will need to win it, but I think they'll cancel each other out. I think they'll both score because the amount of attacking talent on show here could be more goals than what I'm saying, but I am going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. And the final fixture of this game week takes place on Monday, which sees Crystal Palace take it on Chelsea under the lights, 8 o'clock, live on Sky. Chelsea, woeful, you could say.
Shocking.
Against Wolves. They're currently in 11th position, back-to-back defeats, but one of those defeats was away against Liverpool. In this one, they're coming up against the one of the teams that
the most out of form team.
Which is good for Chelsea, so they can get back to winning ways, build a bit of confidence, because they'll want to try and push into those European places. I can't see it happening again this season for the Blues, though. It's kind of a rebuilding season again, isn't it, for them? So I think they'll win. They'll win just, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to Chelsea.
You know what? Let's have a laugh. I don't know why I can just see Palace winning this.
Really?
With the way that Chelsea are playing at the moment. Absolute comedy show. 1-0 Crystal Palace.
Wow, 1-0 to Palace. Wishful thinking? Maybe not. But that concludes our predictions for game week 24. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. For instance, last week in game week 23, Sports Cat, who played along as he usually does, came away with 10.5 points and 2 perfect scores. In second place we had Gimme Gout, that's a name I haven't heard in quite a while, with 10 points and just the 1 perfect score. The overall leaderboard though sees Joggett still remain at the top of the shop on 238.5 points, 8 points in front of Tayyab 7-8-6. So Nathan, we're back with Cardiff City on Saturday at the Cardiff City Stadium after the exploits against Watford. Will we see a vlog on your channel?
Yeah, that'll be out on Sunday, so channel link in description below.
Fantastic. Before we go, Nathan, managerial-wise, is there anybody in the Premier League you think, their job could be on the line?
Well, we know Roy's going to be going at the end of the season, and it's about Klopp as well. In terms of anyone at risk, I don't think there is anyone at the moment. It's sort of at that stage where you wait till the end of the season and then they start announcing they're going. So you'll probably, Roy's going. You've got Klopp that's going as well. Any other ones?
What about Pochettino? There's lots of people online saying Pochettino, it's not going good for him there.
It's not going good because he's been given absolute rubbish by their board. So,
but he's brought a lot of players in this season.
Yeah, but a lot of them weren't his signings. That's the difference.
Yes, interesting. Fantastic. So once again, guys, remember to leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Look out for Nathan's vlog as well. Have a great weekend watching your teams in the Premier League, and we'll see you all in the next video.
6 shots, yeah, straight to the face, and I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way, so I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe, so I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking